Hey guys! Today I'm going to be sharing my bridal makeup tutorial with you, and this is basically the look that I used for my wedding day a week and a half ago. So I ended up being super indecisive and not knowing what I wanted to do with my makeup and not being really sure, and then I ended up going with a look that I had used a lot when I first got my Naked palette, and it's just a pretty typical, easy look that I thought looked nice. I wore lashes, which I don't normally do, so I have lashes on right now that look a little weird, I feel like, but it's fine. So I will be showing you guys how I got this look. I'm going to just be talking through it as I go and probably speeding stuff up as I go, but if you are interested in seeing what I did for my bridal makeup and how I got this look, you can just keep watching. Just for the sake of saving time, I already started with my primer, so I have the NYX Angel Veil Primer. This I used all over my face. I feel like it mattifies my skin a little bit better, but it also just evens it out a touch. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like it makes my skin look a lot nicer, and it does help mattify some, so I decided to go with this. I was going to use the Hourglass one, but it had SPF 15 in it, and I was a little scared, so I decided to go with this. And honestly, my wedding was kind of outdoors. It was in a like redone barn type situation, so it wasn't air conditioned or anything, so it didn't really matter what I was going to wear because I was sweating it off by the time we actually got to the wedding anyway. So the next thing that I'm going to use is actually a slightly different color than what I had, but this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin in 3.5. I actually used my sister. She had bought it and hers was in 4.5. I self-tanned before my wedding, and so I was a lot darker than I usually am, and this is probably even a little bit too dark for me. Maybe it's not. But she had tried this out and it looked gorgeous on her, and I really liked it, and I tried this one before, so I decided just to go with it. I had planned on using my L'Oreal stuff, my L'Oreal Infallible, but I just decided on the day of. This one looked really, really nice, so I decided to go with it instead. Oh, this one actually matches me pretty well. I think at some point I'm going to go pick up the actual stuff for this because I really, really liked it, but since I had the sample, I figured for this tutorial it would do its purpose and I wouldn't have to go get another one. So I buffed that in with one of my Kabuki brushes. This is the Diva Beauty B03 Angled Buffer. I don't know if I use this exact one on my wedding day, but it doesn't really matter. All of these function pretty much the same. I really, really like the finish that this gives my skin. I feel like it just looks nice, and it's not so much coverage that you can't see things like my freckles and stuff, but it just makes my skin look nice. After that, I went in and did my under eyes. I've been using the Benefit Fake Up. This one is in 02 Medium. I just bought the light one. But for now I'm using the medium one since it's almost gone, and I just do that in kind of a triangular shape under my eyes and then blend it in. Then I went in with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circle and Brightener and just pat this under my eyes and blend it out again. Next I'm going to go in and conceal blemishes. On the actual day I used the Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness concealer, and this matched me really, really well when I was self-tanned. It is a little bit dark for me right now, but I still use it and blend it out, and it does okay once I blend it out a little bit more. It's just a little higher coverage for those spots that are peeking through. And then the next thing I did, I went in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation. Mine's in Fair Neutral, which was a little bit light for me for the day of, but I still used it because I like the finish that it gives my skin, and I was able to blend it out and make it look okay, even though it was a little bit light for when I was self-tanned. Next up, I went in and contoured a little bit. So this is one of the Real Techniques Bold Metal brushes. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the contour one. I'm using the City Color Contour Effects. This was the original one. I know they came out with another one recently. I'm just using the contour one a little bit. And I don't do anything too dramatic because I don't usually contour super intensely, but just enough to make my face look just a little bit thinner. I have a very round face, so just a little bit, and then I blended it out some. And that's the only place I used that. I didn't go anywhere else with it. For everything else, I just used my Sigma large angle contour brush and then my Nars Laguna bronzer. And I also go through the contour just a little bit with that to blend it out, and then around the edges of my face and down my chest a little bit. And down my nose. Next up I did blush. So for a little bit more staying power, I used the Maybelline Dream Bouncy Blush in Plum Wine. Just looks like this. And my Real Techniques Stippling brush. And then over top of that, to set that, I used the Cabana Boy blush from TheBalm, which is just kind of a plummy color, and the Real Techniques Multitask brush. Next up I do highlight, and so I did the Benefit What's Up highlighter first, and I do this on the high points of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose on my Cupid's bow. I can't remember 100% which highlight I used, but I think it was the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in Soft and Gentle, but I don't remember. Some of my getting ready makeup was kind of a blur because I was running a little bit late. And this is the Real Techniques contour brush that I'm using just to put that in the same spots I put the cream highlighter, but just to set it. Alright, so that is pretty much it for my face. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to do my eyebrows and my eyes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to prime my eyes. I used the e.l.f, what is it? I don't know, the e.l.f. $1 eye primer. And I do that first to let it dry down a little bit before I put on anything else. Then I am going to brush out my eyebrows here. I've been using the color Sable here to go through my eyebrows because it has a reddish tone and it just makes it look a little bit nicer. Anyway, good enough. I use the, just like a random brush that I got from My Glam. That's an eyeliner brush. And then I'm going to set this with the NYX Tinted Eyebrow Gel in Brunette. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use Rue Beauté Bright Eyes Jumbo Eye Pencil, and this is just a champagne-y color. And I'm going to run that over my lids as a stickier base, and it's also going to make my champagne color pop just a little bit more. And then next I'm just going to go in with my Naked palette. So this is one of my most loved palettes. I'm going to start here with Sin, which is probably my most used eyeshadow ever, and I'm going to run that all over my lid. Sin is just about gone in my eyeshadow palette, so this is a look that I used to do all the time when I first got this palette, so it's pretty simple, but I like it. I'm glad that I went with something that I knew wouldn't fall all over the place. I talked about using Dark Horse, no, not Dark Horse, I talked about using Sidecar, and I didn't end up doing that because it was just a fallout mess on my face, so this one I knew wouldn't do that to me. Okay, so that's Sin. And then I'm going to go in with my Sigma Tapered Blending Brush, my E35, and I'm first going to start with Naked and just work on blending out the crease a little bit. And this is just a nice matte light brown color, so it looks pretty natural. Next I'm going to go in with Toasted right here with the same brush. For all my blending, I honestly just use the same brush. And then I'm going to run in the outer corner and through my crease. to go in with Hustle and just put that in the very outer crease. Then I'm going to go in with Buck here, just a little bit. And do any extra blending out. Next I'm going to use this Milani Brow and Eye Highlighter, and this one is just in the side matte cream, and run this along my brow bone. And then blend it in with my finger. And then I'm just going to use my finger with Virgin and highlight right under my brow bone. I'm also going to take that just a touch on the inner corner. Next I'm going to go in and line, and to do that I use the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion, which is their really dark black. So the next thing that I'm going to do is something that I'm not very good at, so I'm probably not going to do it on camera because it'll take me forever. But I did go in with lashes, which I don't have any of right now, but they are the Ardell Naturals, and they're in the 110 black form. I used these and then I put them in my purse or something, and they're destroyed now, so they're not any good anymore. But today, just for effect, I'm going to use the Ardell Glamour Wispies in black, I think. These. And they look like this. So I'm terrible with lashes, and they probably didn't look as good as they could have on my wedding day, but I used them anyway. And then I'm also using the Duo Eyelash Adhesive in dark tone. So we're going to see how this goes. It might not look perfect, but whatever, we'll go with it. Alright, these lashes are a little bit more dramatic than what I did for my wedding, but they're what I have for right now, so they're what we're going to go with. Alright, so the last thing I did on my eyes, while I was off camera, I kind of coated extra mascara to blend my fake lashes and my real lashes. The last thing I'm going to do, I didn't line my lower lash line, so I used my Rimmel Scandalize in Nude and ran that in my lower lash line. Or waterline, I guess, not my lower lash line. And then I went in, I'm using the Sigma E30 pencil brush. And first thing I went in with Toasted and ran that on my bottom lash line with this brush to give it some definition. Then I went in with Hustle and I did the same thing, closer to the outer edge. That was Hustle. And then I'm going in with Creep, which is like a sparkly black. And then I did that because it needed a little bit more definition than what those two colors were giving me. And then I went in with Virgin and just ran that under the inner corner. These lashes do not look nearly as good as my other ones did. These look kind of weird. And I feel like my eyes look really off because I probably put them on wrong. And then I'm going to go in with Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express on my lower lashes. My eyes look wonky, don't they? I blame the lashes. Something just looks off right now. Whatever. And then the lip color that I picked to go with my bridal makeup was the Maybelline Color Blur by Color Studio in, what color is this? I'm Blushing, I think. Yeah, and I'm Blushing, which is just a pretty pink. I love these pencils. If you see these around, you should definitely pick them up because they're really great. And they twist up from the bottom, so don't be confused. And the final step for everything, I went in with my Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray and sprayed everything. Alright, so that is my final look here. So it's pretty natural. I didn't go anything too bizarre or crazy. I tried not to go too intense. I did get told by my sister I had to go heavier with the blush because apparently the first time I put it on it wasn't heavy enough, but I like the look overall. I feel like it's a pretty easy, natural look. It's something that's going to be classic that I don't feel like I'll look back on my wedding pictures and be like, oh, why did I do that? I think it works pretty well. I definitely like the lashes that I used on my wedding day better than these. I just happened to pick these up at the same time and I had these, so I figured I'd use them rather than buying some more. Yeah, but I would love to hear what you guys wore on your wedding day, what your thoughts are on the best products to use for your wedding day, because I know I struggled with what I thought I should use for my wedding day, and I ultimately ended up being really, really indecisive about what I wore. But anyway, I'm going to be doing my hair look that I did for my wedding next. So if you want to see that, that will be linked in the down bar once it is up. Or you can check out my next video. That should be up in the next day or two. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.